please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and prayer, please? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we ask you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding, so that in fulfilling their public trust, every deliberation will result in actions that will promote the common good and general welfare for all the people of Morris Plains. Amen. Notice to members of the governing body and borough staff, any use of electronic devices during this meeting shall be used solely for the purpose of borough business. Approval of minutes. Ms. Berg, Council President.
Okay. I move that the minutes from conference, executive, and regular on December 7th, 2023 be approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dennis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The ayes have it.
I move that the minutes from conference, executive, and regular December 21st, 2023 be approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Joan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The ayes have it.
I move that the minutes from the reorganization on January 4th, 2024 be approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Kathy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The ayes have it. Thank you. Approval of consent calendar. I'm sorry, yeah, consent agenda,
Police Department, these are reports from December 2023. Police Department, Municipal Court, the Borough Clerk, Animal Licensing, Sanitarian, Animal Control Annual Report and December Report, Building Inspector and Tax Collector, and also the Annual Report from the Tax Collector. Resolution 2024-31 entitled Morris Plains Cooperative Play School, raffle license number 339-24. Resolution 2024-32 entitled Resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Morris Plains acknowledging the cooperation and compliance with post-occupancy traffic study parameters relating to Dryden Way and Johnson Road. Resolution 2024-33 entitled Resolution entitled Limousine Owner License Silvio Robert Apostu number LO3-4066-2024. Resolution 2024-34 entitled Resolution of the Borough of Morris Plains authorizing the buyer of block 101.01, lot 2.01 to upgrade the property's sewage system within 2 years. Borough Council authorized the Borough Engineer to prepare plans and specifications for the Leland Road, Cedar Avenue, Laurel Street, Allen Place, Hillside Court East, Wyckoff Way, J. Quiet Avenue, Sun Valley Way, and Freight Station Rail. Having received quotes for winter attachments for trackless from the following: U.S. Municipal Supply, Inc., $16,850, Mid-State Equipment Company, Inc., $23,250, and Handyman Small Engine, no quote. That a purchase order be issued to U.S. Municipal Supply, Inc., 464 Glenny Circle, King of Prussia, PA, 19406, in the amount of $16,850. Lieutenant Commander Mark Leahy and Katerina Gariando are granted permission to have a wedding ceremony in Roberts Garden on Saturday, April 13th, 2024, from 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. with approximately 60 guests. Mark E. Bellis Jr., 24 Glenbrook Road, Morris Plains, be hired for seasonal help in the Department of Public Works at an hourly rate of $15.13, retroactive to January 1, 2024.
Get some hours then, huh? Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Sal. Roll call, please.
Ms. Virgo,
Yes.
Mr. Cortez,
Yes.
Ms. Goddard,
Yes.
Ms. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Wagner.
Yes.
This time, I'd like to invite members of the public to have anything to discuss. Step up, state your name and address. And your compliment.
Good evening. Makes it up. Mark Ellis, 24 Glenbrook Road, also Second Assistant Chief, Morris Plains Fire Department. I would just like to make some comments about the full-time position. I joined the fire department in August of 1993. At that time, I was trying to go back in my memory, I think we had about 6 to 8 guys going out in their spare time doing inspections. Here we are, 30 years later, we only have 3 guys doing it part-time, in their spare time. Last meeting, Chief Rongo talked about the Center of Town Fire, January 1994, about how maybe if we had a full-time position back then, we may have approached the fire differently. Because I can confirm his stories about bailing out the second floor window, because I was one of the 3 other guys with him on that second floor. So I don't know if things would have changed any differently, but there's a possibility. Just wanted to touch on a few of the changes in the 30 years I've been a firefighter here in town. We have the old Tetley T property. It's now a life safety hazard with the Highlands. You have Sunrise Assisted Living, the old Country Day School, a life safety hazard. Arbor Terrace, the old Brentwoods. You have 260 Tabor, the old Easter Seals building. All the housing on Water Lambert, 1000 American Road. The list goes on. Candlewood or Sonesta Suites, life safety hazard. So the town has grown, obviously, in 30 years. And actually, the department is smaller than it was when I first joined. So I just wanted to bring those points and, hope you take that into consideration when talking about the full-time position, because that would really help us out as a chief officer. I would like to know what's in these buildings when I'm sending my guys in, because they're my brothers, so I want to take care of them. I may be able to shed a little light on the county fire marshal question you had. I know a little something about the county.
You think?
So Jim Davidson probably just threw a number out there, because that is a service they don't provide. They are two full-time fire marshals plus a part-time that do all the county buildings. So it's just something they're not equipped for or have the manpower, so they would probably have to hire an additional employee.
Well, at the time, Mark, at the time when I did speak with them, they were in the process of hiring a part-timer, and they said that would be one of the reasons to take us on, is to justify that part-time position. But again, our inspection didn't warrant them at that time, 3 or 4 years ago, to hire that guy specifically for
Just for
our
us.
place. So whatever has transpired since then is different. That's why I think that really should be revisited.
Yeah, no, I
and
just
looked at.
wanted to,
As Joan said before, we have to be prudent with the taxpayers' dollars, okay? So, that's why we're going through this process, and.
understood. I just wanted to throw out some of the stuff that has happened over the 30 years, and just in case, it's never in the past and, forgotten about. That's what happened over the past 30 years. So.
Certainly appreciate it, and we do wanna do the right thing for everybody, you guys, the residents, the council, everybody.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We hear you.
Thank you.
Thank
Just
you.
wanted my voice heard, that's all.
And, thank you for your service.
You got it. Thank you.
And to the citizens of the county too, so that's an important role to play up there as well, so thank you. Anybody else? Close the public portion? Oh, sorry.
So, Bill Houston, 80 Glenbrook Road, Morris Plains. Just wanted to make a comment and then congratulate you all, right? So my comment first is to echo what Chief Rongo has said, what Chief Bellis has said. My son, as you all read in here last year, right, recently joined the fire department. As a past member of the fire department, I trust these guys with my life. I trust them with my son's life. And I know that none of them would ever put my son in harm's way. But in order for them to do their job, they need to know what they're going into, right? I think by just having a part-time fire marshal is a disservice not only to them, but also puts my son at risk and all the other men and women and sons and daughters that are out there that are on the fire department. I've said it before that you know, if it is an increase to the taxpayers, I would find it hard to believe that many taxpayers would, be against paying more taxes for a full-time fire marshal, knowing that their properties are safe, knowing that their sons and daughters are safe, and knowing that their firefighters are safe. So, as I said, I've said it before, it's my opinion that, it should be a full-time position, full stop, and make all the residents of Morris Plains and the businesses of Morris Plains safer. Again, as well as all of our sons and daughters and fathers and brothers that are on the fire department, so. That's my comment, you know, I wanted to congratulate all of you, cause I didn't get to do it at the last meeting, so congratulations to all the council members for, having your new positions, right, in your new departments. You know, I know you'll serve the town of Morris Plains very well as you've done in the past. So I didn't get a chance last time, so I just wanna say congratulations, so.
Thank you.
And every resident is safe here in Morris Plains right now, and there's no argument about that between the police and fire department and Morris Plains. So everybody does their best here to keep everybody safe all year round, so thank you. Reports of committee, anybody else? Sorry.
Hi, my name is Annemarie Neylan, and I live at 20 Greenwood Road in Morris Plains. A few weeks ago, I had emailed all of you regarding having a virtual option to view this meeting. This is my first meeting, it's 2024, and I really wanted to kind of hear what was going on in a town that I've lived in for quite a few years. Even just sitting here for the last few minutes, hearing Mr. Houston talk about, you know, the part-time fire marshal, things like that. Just to give you read my email, I have 2 young kids. I actually had to pay for a babysitter tonight because my husband does work late in the city and usually doesn't get home till around 8:30, 9 o'clock because he gets off at like 6:30, 7 o'clock. So it was very hard for just to even get here. However, it was important for me to hear what was going on, and I know there's others that are in my situation as well. And I work full-time remotely from home, so I have a lot of Zoom meetings and things like that. So just kind of reiterating what I said in the email. And I kind of wanted to bring it up to everyone because I think it's important. I think just what Mr. Houston said, I don't think the taxpayers had heard about the part-time fire marshal and they can do this from home. You know, I think, you know, you would get a lot more involvement and a lot more people, it would be important for them to hear that. So I wanted to bring that up at one of these meetings so that everyone could hear it because I think it's an important thing to talk about. I also did look at other towns' council website, the neighboring towns, and they do have a virtual option that people can Zoom in. So I just wanted to bring that up. I think it's very important, especially for, like I said, people like myself who have young kids and it's hard to come to these meetings.
Thank you.
Terry Pagan, 148 Mountain Way. I just want to say I can do Terry Pagan, P-A-G-A. I do safety at work, so I know I follow some of the fires and different safety measures, and with the increase of electric vehicles, and you hear about the electric scooters in New York City and all the fires, I think it is important to have someone that can go into some of these apartment buildings and make sure, do we see people with illegal, not illegal, but, you know, having these lithium batteries that, you know, suddenly are catching on fire. So it's something to consider for the future, that's just gonna get more people having that kind of equipment. And the chargers that you need for the electric vehicles.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I just wanted to comment on Annemarie's contribution. So thank you very much for coming tonight, and I appreciate you sharing your story. It actually, this is an opportunity to get involved, which is great. And the fact that you want to be able to do it from home, I totally understand. I was that person in the city that wasn't able to tap in, and I missed a lot, right? When I finally got a job in New Jersey and was able to attend meetings, I felt more connected to my community. And I know that that's what a lot of people want and need. So So thank you for that, and it's certainly something that we will take under consideration, because I do agree that it's something that we need as a municipality.
Thank you. It's important, and I work in healthcare regulatory, so I understand all the security, HIPAA, things like that. And,
Exactly.
you know, we do it all the time.
Yes, thank you very much.
Anybody else? Seeing nobody, we'll move on to reports of committees and or department heads. Finance, Mr. Wagner.
Getting used to going first now for this year, instead of last for two. I gotta stay quick on my toes here. Well, we've all been transitioning out of our previous committees, from 23. Mine was actually with mine for 2 years, ordinances, public utilities. And, I've spent the past couple days, maybe a week, transporting about
A lot.
100 pounds of drawings and diagrams from planning board material to Kathy. And she will do real well because she's a good listener, and that's what you have to be in ordinances and public utilities. So I am now transitioning to finance. I love numbers, so I'm really jazzed. I had a meeting with the borough clerk's office. I don't need to do much there. There's a well-oiled machine there. So I can tell they don't want me around very much, and I'm happy about that. I also met with our finance department, our CFO, and again, just very smart, well-organized. Just from a 20-minute meeting, we are in good hands. But I knew that already, and I'm really excited to dive into appropriations, municipal expenditures, our different forms of revenue, and throwing it all together. And the budget comes out, and it's the middle of just the beginning of our budget season. We have 2 workshops in March, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and really interesting to me. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Good. Public safety, Mr. Cortez.
Had a whole bunch of calls from Dennis a couple of weeks ago, because I'm coming out of finance, going into public safety. Sal this, Sal that. I said, Dennis, go meet with the clerk, go meet with Anna, and you will see that you will be in control of everything. They will enlighten you and everything. And I'm glad to hear that worked out well.
So true.
And then I asked him, if you need anything, call me, and he hasn't called me since, so I'm assuming that everything went well. Thank you I'm on the public safety. I think I have a very dynamic trio between myself, Kathy, and Joan. I'm excited to go to the department. I already had some conversations with the chief. We're gonna be getting together next week, and it slows down a little bit, and go over some things that are still going on and pending, and hopefully bring to fruition. And I'm very excited about 2024. I think a lot of good things are gonna happen in Morris Plains. We talked about a lot of things tonight, and hopefully we can work everything out and keep our community of caring healthy, safe, and just a beautiful place to live. At this time, I'm gonna pass the mic to Mike, our chief.
Good evening. December always gets a little busy for us around the holidays. 64 medical assistance calls prior to the arrival of EMS. Response to some complaints and concerns about the train station. Our officers completed 62 full patrols dismounted from the vehicles, checking the train station, the platform. Unfortunately, 5 domestic violence calls, 411 motor vehicle stops, another number, 31 motor vehicle crashes that were not injury related, and 411 motor vehicle stops. So a very busy December. We're rapidly closing out the rest of 2023 with year-end reports that are due to the county and the state, and working on our 2024 budget. So I'll be meeting with Mr. Cortese on that in the very near future. As of Tuesday the 16th, proposals were due for our conceptual plans and design committee. So we're going through those proposals as well. We received 8 different proposals, so we're working through that process. And just wanted to close out with my report. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize the 2023 in 2022, Public Safety Committee chaired by Ms. Berger. We made a lot of advancements. I appreciate all of your support. I'm gonna miss our weekly visits with Nancy, but we had promotion of a lieutenant and an expansion by the department by one officer, which allowed us to create a traffic officer's position. So it's very successful national night out and on. So it was a great 2023, and I appreciate all of Nancy's and Sal's and Dennis' support in that venture. Looking forward to 2024. Thank you very much.
Good, thank you. Art's not here tonight, away on business. Anybody have a report for him? Seeing nobody, I'd like to welcome our new engineer from the same firm, Mr. William Ryden, Bill Ryden, taking Leon's place after 20-some odd years. So Bill, welcome, and do you have anything?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I have a short report, 4 items. First has to do with the warehouse project on Route 53, that's called the Tabor Road Owner. That project is set to start next week with clearing. Leon has approved the limits of disturbance and the stakeout, so that's ready to go. Second item is the American Road Lennar project, the venue. Lennar tells us that they expect that they'll be applying for their last CO about April 1st, so that project is moving along.
Bill, is that red light on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
So that's, the venue is getting ready to close out around April 1st. The third item has to do with the Lennar project on Route 53. That last CO for that project was issued today, as a matter of fact, and so that's basically closed out, except for any follow-up housekeeping items, etc. And lastly, we just let you know we're starting on the tax map revisions for this year, and I expect to have those done by the end of February. That's all I have here.
Sounds good.
I wanted to say something.
Go ahead.
For Public Works.
Go ahead.
After the snowstorm, you guys know I'm a contractor, so I go through many towns, Parsippany, Randolph, I talked about Morristown, Morris Township, whatever. Our streets were the blackest and cleanest. Number one, absolute, second to nobody.
And the safest, Sal.
And the safest. I know Art's not here, so forgive me for jumping in, but I gotta give DPW an applause on my part. And you know, you don't realize these things till like you go next door and look at the other towns. You go, wow, and we're golden. So kudos to DPW and the hard work and just God bless them for the great job they did.
Good, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Moving on to buildings and public grounds. Joan.
Okay. So I've been reorging over the past 2 weeks. Lots of new meetings to go to between, yeah. You're like, what?
What?
Recreation and Shade Tree, which was, thank you everybody for being so welcoming. I'm glad to be joining new committees and learning about different aspects of our municipality. So last night, I went to our recreation meeting, and just a few of the things that came up. One is an update about Morris Plains Little League. So I'm not sure if you've heard, but Morris Plains Little League has merged with Morristown Area American Little League and Morristown National Little League, and together they have a unified league called Morristown Area Little League. So it's inclusive of both baseball and softball divisions. It's been a labor of love amongst all the different teams. I hear there's over 45 people that were part of putting this together. And what it's going to bring is more competitive play, enhanced player development, and a unified voice across all of our towns. And I've seen it with my own daughter. She's been on teams where she was with Morristown, and it really helped her with her skill set, but then also when she went to Morristown High School, she already knew people that went to Freeling High School. So it was a really nice way to unify the teams. The thing that you should know, though, is that it's not going to take away from what we love about Morris Plains and our recreation programs. It really should be a seamless transition. We're going to have the same opening day that we've always had, and the pride of Morris Plains. And another good thing is that we're going to be bringing in more neighboring teams into our town. So they're going to be visiting our shops, our restaurants, and our services. So it's all a good thing, and it's gonna be very, very busy over at Community Park. Another thing with recreation is, you might not know, but every year they have a Volunteer of the Year. So if you wanna recognize a resident, you could submit your entry to Carlene Leahy at the Community Center by the end of this month. And I believe the winner will be announced within the next few weeks in February timeframe. Applications for Morris Plains Recreation 2024 summer employment. So that's our summer counselors and our lifeguard positions are open. And Carlene mentioned that she's already received a lot of applications. All materials must be completed by the applicants no later than April 22nd, and mailed or deposited in the mail slot at the community center. So get those materials in, and your child can be employed this summer. Last thing, just wanted to mention, we have 2 shade tree members here. So this is a late breaking update, still in the works, but based on our meeting, we were talking about the spotted lanternfly. And last year, we were awarded a grant to combat some of the issues that we've had on Morris Plains public properties. And the one area that we looked at was the walking path by Beach Drive to the train station. It was infested with the tree of heaven. So we partnered with our arborist and with DPW, and collectively they were able to administer the herbicide and cut down the tree of heaven. And it's a long process, right? But what it leaves is essentially a horrible blank space with nothing, right? So what I did is I called the person that gave us that grant from the New Jersey Department of Agriculture, and I said, we went through this process as year 1. We're on a journey with you. We'd like to explore possibly, is there a grant available for replacing what we had to chop down? And he said, that is a great idea. ... So there's more to come on that, but hey, at least we got a positive feedback from the state, right? And it's something that he's looking into. So more to come on that, but I was very pleased with the outcome of that conversation.
I think there's another grant still now for the spotted lanternfly.
For the herbicide part.
Right.
Yeah, so we can, I know that, I believe that we still have some remaining, that we could administer. Or is it all done? I'll have to check with Dave.
I don't know whether they got any extra or not.
I'll check with Dave on that. We can certainly look into that, but he did agree that there should be a journey. You gotta replenish what you take away, right? And the goal is that we could plant with native plants. That would certainly be something that we're looking into. That is it for me.
Okay, very good, thank you. Public health, sanitation, and sewers, Nancy.
Okay, thank you. Once again, I've been making the rounds of the new committee that I'm responsible for, which is Public Health, Sanitation, and Sewers. The first thing I did was attend the first reorganization meeting for the Board of Health on January 10th. They voted in their officers, and we learned the news that Cindy Bella, who's been a public health nurse with the county and here, has retired after 40 years in that role. So we thank her for her service to all the communities of the county. And also this year they talked about having pediatric flu vaccine at the Wellness Day, which is scheduled for October. They're looking at ways to get more young people into that Wellness Day event that they have at the community center, which offers some great information on vaccines. They also held their rabies clinic on January 6th with reinstituted online registration. So about half the attendees registered online, and the Board of Health had their forms all ready to go when they arrived. So they only had to bring their pet, which was wonderful. It was a successful event. They had just over 200 pets vaccinated and about 88 from Morris Plains. Given the terrible weather that day, that was pretty impressive. Not our most ever, but still. And we thank the officers that were there, Chief, because with the treacherous footing, we made sure that they had parking available inside for the people who needed special assistance. So that was helpful. I also attended the Municipal Alliance meeting where they had one new member this year, Rosaria DeNova, so thank you for volunteering, Rosaria. They discussed some of their programs coming up. They're doing 7 habits of highly effective teens in partnership with the school system for the 3rd year in a row. It's a 7th grade program that they participate in as part of their advisory period in school, which is a great collaboration with the school. They went to meet the new substance abuse coordinator at Morristown High School named Sasha Hicks, so I'm looking forward to hearing how that meeting went. They're discussing getting back, which stopped during COVID, to the senior brunch and learn or lunch and learn series that they would bring a speaker into the senior meetings. So now that, COVID is somewhat controlled with vaccines, they're looking at possibly in the spring when the weather's better, beginning to offer speakers again for the seniors. They have a new pet therapy program where they have 5 applicants who are training their dogs, and they're looking forward to bringing those dogs to the high school. And I can tell you, sorry Natalie, but having a high school student, it is stressful out there for them, especially junior year, those kids. They could use a little dog petting in the middle of the day. Stage Fun, they have the most students ever signed up for this program at this time of year, 24. They're doing Finding Nemo Kids, which should be super fun. I think rehearsals started Saturday. Their performance is March 8th at 7 p.m. And they're trying something new with having parents volunteer for committee chairs and chaperone volunteer positions, and so far that has gone really well, rather than kind of that being with the responsibility of one volunteer, which is a lot for the person. So that's good. They had a great turnout at their coffee house for Morristown High. So they do programs for the high school students as well, help fund the refreshments for that, which is really nice. So doing great stuff as always. I missed the Municipal Alliance. I was involved with it very heavily until 2008, and then was back at it again. And some of the same people are still there, which is really great. I mean, these people are committed to what they do. Clean Communities, I met with our new coordinator, James Barandino, to review how it's going, and he's looking forward to doing a community cleanup in April. And I also met with Ellie to get some information from her about how that went, and it's a great group, and keeping our community clean is super important. Teen Center, I attended my first meeting Wednesday night with the coordinator and 2 of the volunteer board members. They're planning an event tomorrow with the weather, we'll see. It's for 7th grade Teen Center. Waiting on the weather for that. They are struggling with volunteers for their board positions. They have several open board positions, and the coordinator is really kind of struggling. She needs some hands, so hopefully we'll help with that in the coming year. That's it.
Thank you. What is the public utilities, Kathy?
Last but not least, Dennis.
Okay.
Okay.
That was my
And I wanna
favorite.
thank Dennis Wagner. Yes. I don't know if he really wanted me to have all that information he brought over.
He just wanted to get it out of his house,
In
Kathy.
boxes. Guess what? You just stole my thunder. I think he really wanted to get out of his house and put it in mine, and it's still where you put it. So you can come back
That's
over and
great.
carry it up. Just kidding, really. I also was reorganized. She was. Like we all were. We all have new committees. We all have our friends are also on the committees. I may be the chair of ordinance and public utilities, but Sal and Nancy are also on my committee, and it's really great. Yes, also, Sue McCluskey has been, she has been, elected, I guess, as the chairperson for, planning board. And the vice chair, she's chair. And the vice chair is Ron Kelly. We were lucky enough, Sue McCluskey had Marion Stecker, who's here with us tonight, and Michael Garavaglia and me, to an orientation meeting, where she explained how the planning board works. It was great. It was 3 hours at the community center, and the time went by like that. And then we each had to listen to, the December 11th meeting that had been recorded, and we each did that separately. It was a 2-hour meeting, and then after that we had the real meeting on Monday, and all those things that we did beforehand helped us. At least it helped me, Mary Ann. How about you? Just knowing all that stuff that we had already heard and hearing it again was spectacular. However, there is a lot to learn about planning board, and one of the things I've always liked is learning things, so I think it's a good place for me this year, and I look forward to working there. We have a continuation of the public hearing, Monday, I'm sorry, the date, I have it written down, I thought I wrote it down in my notes. It's, on the 29th, I'm sorry, the 29th of January at 7:30, and it'll be at the same, it'll be in here, to finish up some things that weren't finished this past Monday. We didn't have any committee reports because these committees had just been formed and there was no information, that we could, give to the public. But that's where I stand so far, and, it's gonna be an interesting year.
Very good, thank you. Just a follow-up on, public utilities with the lights, with Jersey Central on the path over here, behind the Lennar and the train station in that area. We finally got a commitment from Jersey Central to, install lights. I think it's only gonna be 2 for right now, but 2 is better than none. We'll take them from the stern no to 2 lights. I think is a win for everybody who uses that path, and just being persistent with them and,
Met Bill Greco, no?
well, I gotta call them down in Florida, so.
He even checked with
Different
me.
game from
When they get up, I'm just gonna send them a picture, so shh, don't tell them.
Okay.
And then just following back to the approval of the consent calendar, I just wanna go over this resolution of the Borough Council of Borough Morris Plains acknowledging the cooperation and compliance with post-occupancy traffic study parameters related to driveway and Johnson Road. This is an agreement between Hanover Township, Parsippany, and Morris Plains on traffic, coming out of the development there on Route 10-1515. I think on Johnson Road, I think everybody has seen that development over there, 400 units and retail and all that other kind of stuff. They've also opened up the jug handle on driveway that you can get from the jug handle clearly through the back of that development, right onto Johnson Road, make a left on Johnson, make a right onto Mount Partisan. You eliminate the Wendy's traffic circle, which is what we're worried about. So there are parameters set up to do traffic studies and monitoring. Once that opens, and this agreement, I don't know, probably 3 years or longer in the works, and the mayor's got together, the engineers, and the attorneys and put this together. So it wasn't easy, but again, persistence and looking out for everybody here in the borough, as traffic is already a problem. Don't need any help, so. Next, presentations of communications or petitions. We have none. We have no ordinances, none on second reading, no resolutions, no unfinished business. We do have new business. Ms. Berga and Mr. Wagner, please.
Okay. We're gonna do a very low-tech presentation of this grant that we've been working on tonight. It's called the Community Energy Plan Grant. In 2022, Dennis Wagner and I, there's some copies there, I don't know if there were anyway, of the presentation for this. Dennis and I requested support from the borough to apply for a Community Energy Plan grant from the Board of Public Utilities in partnership with Sustainable Jersey. The grant process was designed to help a community work toward a better environment for all residents by using the state energy master plan as a guide to align local efforts. The Energy Master Plan identifies strategies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So the rationale for doing this, as you probably know, climate events with greater than $1 billion in losses are escalating in scale and frequency. And it makes sense for local governments to take proactive steps to reduce our impact on greenhouse gas emissions. In 2023, there were 28 confirmed weather and climate disaster events, with losses exceeding $1 billion each to affect the United States. But in the prior 20 years, there were only 8.5 such events per year. So you can see that over the last 5 years, it's been 20.5 per year. So those numbers are escalating, and this grant gives us an opportunity to explore what we can do locally to reduce our impact on greenhouse gases. I'm gonna skip some pages here. You'll see on page 4, Morris Plains has had a commitment to sustainability, as seen in our community vision statement that was included in our 2018 master plan re-examination report. So the Board of Public Utilities created the plan for the grant program for municipalities to implement best practices for lowering our greenhouse gas emissions. And in 2022, the borough was one of 44 New Jersey municipalities that applied for and received the grant. The borough received $10,000 to create the plan. Now, that money is not to be used for implementing our strategy, but to come up with a plan. So we assembled a planning team of local municipal staff, professionals, elected officials, and community volunteers. Our community volunteers on the planning team included Tom Badaglise, Ellie Falco, who's here with us today, Eric Santati, and Michelle Schultz. All of our volunteers from the community had experience in sustainability, public utilities, public transit, and so they were able to provide some good insights for us. So, as far as the grant strategies, and what we did was, as a team, we analyzed our municipal data that was presented to us by Sustainable Jersey. We looked at the feasibility, cost benefit of implementing some of these initiatives, and staff capacity based on discussions with our key stakeholders in the borough. And the result were these recommended strategies for energy resiliency, renewable energy, and energy efficiency. You can see that we provided a list of all of the strategies that were suggested by Sustainable Jersey. We did not select all of them. We do not have the resources to implement them all. And we really wanted to get a baseline proactive strategy going in the borough and get off the ground with some things that we could implement easily, or more easily. So the first strategy we came up with for Morris Plains was to reduce energy consumption and emissions from the transportation sector. And that's because the data that they provided showed that the top cause of greenhouse gases in Morris Plains was from on-road vehicles by far. So reducing these emissions was definitely our top priority. So the recommendations that we came up with based on what the suggested ones from Sustainable Jersey were to adopt an EV ordinance. There's already a state model ordinance, but we spoke with our professional planner and she suggested that we should have our own EV ordinance that will identify where they could be installed, what type of setbacks, lighting, signage, etc., so they look consistent, they're recognizable, they're safe and accessible. Another was to continue to replace retired vehicles with hybrid vehicles and electric vehicles once we have the charging infrastructure available. To streamline and automate the way we track our fleet fuel usage so we can quickly identify opportunities for improved efficiency. To continue to seek grants to expand our EV charging infrastructure at our parks, the Borough Hall, and other public areas. And to reduce vehicle miles traveled, we came up with the idea to encourage other forms of transportation in the borough through policies and outreach. This would include simple things like expanding parking and safety for bicycles and electric scooters, and foundational things like evaluating overarching policies for things like complete and green streets and other best practices. All right, Dennis.
Thank you, Nancy. I'll start with strategy 2, and that's to accelerate deployment of renewable energy and distributed energy resources. So we came up with a couple things that we're going to attempt to move forward with. Again, these are all these are ideas that have been thrown out there, and it's a good starting point for us. So adopt an ordinance to define the types of solar installations we encourage in the borough and relevant approval and permitting processes. The ordinance will provide clear guidance, standards for solar developers about signage, lighting, etc., and limit barriers to solar adoption, such as lengthy permitting and multiple reviews. Strategy, the team recommends that we periodically explore whether we can reduce our electric bills by installing our own source of renewable power. This includes exploring feasibility for solar, geothermal at borough-owned properties. We recommend that the borough research the cost benefit of energy co-ops, engage public interest. Energy co-ops establish a third-party electrical supply contract negotiated by a municipality or a group of on behalf of residents to achieve a more sustainable source and better pricing that can be achieved by individual consumers. A lot of layers to that onion to peel back, but if we don't start a conversation and look at all options, we won't know, right? Not to explore is not knowing. So strategy 3, maximize energy efficiency and conservation and reduce peak demand. So we discussed initiatives to improve our energy efficiency, to resolve as a governing body, to replace equipment that is reaching the end of its useful life with energy efficient or electrified equipment and appliances. We do much of that already. Pretty common sense type stuff. We can continue to pursue direct install, process of having free evaluations from our energy partners of existing equipment with incentives to replace with energy efficient equipment and interest-free financing. Just discussion at every move we make as a municipality in terms of our municipal buildings is important. Only 64 households in Morris Plains conducted energy efficient programs with utility partners between 2008 and 2021. It's about 3.3% of all households. This number includes projects from a home performance with Energy Star, Comfort Partners, Weatherization Assistance Program, and PSA&G whole house programs. We hope to increase these rates with education and outreach. A total of 18 Morris Plains-based commercial and industrial properties have participated in energy incentive programs. Approximately 22% of the total commercial and industrial properties of the borough in 2021. We can reach out to businesses to educate them about incentives available to install energy efficient equipment. Strategy 4 was reduce energy consumption and emissions from the building sector. So the return on investment from green building is rapid. Green retrofit projects are generally expected to pay for themselves in just 7 years. LEED buildings report almost 20% lower maintenance costs than typical commercial buildings, and green building retrofit projects typically decrease operation costs by almost 10% in just 1 year. Adopt the green building checklist to consider holding our developers responsible here. Developers submit this along with site plan applications. This action was a recommendation of the 2000 Master Plan re-examination report that has yet to be initiated. And strategy 5, create a green team. So create a green team was not on the list provided by Sustainable Jersey, but is an initiative that they support to further our sustainability goals. A green team can follow through to help implement and encourage practices that will preserve the environment, resources, and quality of life in Morris Plains for future generations. I know, Nancy, you met yesterday with someone about another community entry plan implementation grant. I didn't know if you want to say a little bit about that as well.
So that's the recommendations for this particular grant, which is creating the plan. That's basically what our plan entails. And after the public meeting, our grant writer will finalize the grant for the council to review. And we hope that at our next meeting, the council will vote on a resolution to submit the grant. We subsequently found out in December of this past year that the VPU has come up with an implementation grant that is going to be available to the 44 municipalities that submitted an energy plan grant once it's final. So that's great news for us because the pool of candidates for that money is extremely small. I think the total grant amount is $3.4 million, and each project is eligible for up to $250,000 with no municipal match. So that is money that we could definitely use for some of these larger projects like EV charging stations. So we're going to work with the mayor and the council to determine which projects we want to submit for this grant. We don't have a lot of time. They only gave us till February 23rd to submit that implementation grant. And more towns will be coming on board with plans too this month. So we want to get ahead of that, that funding. So that said, we're really grateful to the community members, the staff and professionals in Sustainable Jersey and the mayor for supporting this project and the members of the governing body who contributed to the plan. And we think it's a positive step towards taking ownership and action for our own climate impact at a local level. We believe that completing this process gives us a roadmap to move forward and will open the door to funding opportunities. So we'd love to hear from the public if you have any suggestions, input, compliments. Thank you.
required, right, for this grant, this public portion and all?
Absolutely, yep.
It's all good. Moving forward, we have vouchers, Mr. Wagner.
Okay, I was, provided with a checklist dated January 18th, 2024, for a voucher total of $4,062,749.32. Is
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Nancy, roll call please.
Ms. Verga,
Yes.
Mr. Cortez,
Yes.
Ms. Goddard,
Yes.
Ms. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Wagner.
Yes.
I don't think we need an executive, John, do you have anything for executive?
Mayor, I have a couple of items that would be, appropriate for executive session under the attorney-client privilege. However, as I sit here right now, they're not yet quite ripe for a discussion. So what I'm going to do is instead of having an executive session tonight on it, I also want to collect my thoughts a little bit on those two items. I'll put together a writing, that I'll share with the council that writing, and that'll be between now and the next meeting, that writing will be protected by the attorney-client privilege. That writing will also not be a public document, discoverable under the Open Public Records Act. But that'll set forth what I would have, shared with you if we had an executive session. But again, I just think it's a little premature right now, and, I'd like to collect my thoughts a little more. So no, I do not have anything for executive session.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything for an executive?
No, I do not.
Nothing early, nothing? Okay. There a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second myself.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The ayes have it. Thank you very much, and thank you to members of the public for coming out. We certainly appreciate seeing everybody.